blues fans, time for another episode of This Week in the Blues, our weekly look at blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Matson, with Big Train and the Locomotives. So, let's take a look at what happened this week in blues history.
Here's one of my favorite blues names. Charles Cow Cow Davenport was born on April 23rd in 1894. This blues and vaudeville entertainer also made recordings under the pseudonyms of Bat the Hummingbird, George Hamilton, and the Georgia Grinder. He's also a member of the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. He's best known for his tune Cow Cow Blues, and yes, that's where he got his name. Happy birthday to blues singer Charles Specs McFadden, born on April 24th in 1895. There's little information about his life outside his recordings. McFadden moved to St. Louis in 1921 and was considered to be one of the top blues singers in the city. The Velvet Bulldozer Albert King was born on April 24th. Albert King, along with B.B. King and Freddie King, make up the three kings of the blues. Without Albert King, modern guitar music would not sound as it does. His style influenced both black and white blues players, from Otis Rush and Robert Cray to Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan. April 26th is the birthday of blues singer and guitarist Johnny Shines, born back in 1915. He was vastly under-recorded during his prime years, even quitting the music business for a time, but was rediscovered in the late 60s and recorded and toured steadily during the heyday of the folk and blues revival of the 60s and 70s. April 26th is also the birthday of blues guitarist Shirley Griffith, born back in 1907. Based mainly in Indianapolis, he's best known for his recordings Walkin' Blues and Bad Luck Blues. He became friends with Scrapper Blackwell and Leroy Carr. In 1935, Carr offered to take Griffith to New York for a recording session, but Carr died suddenly and the trip was never made. The mother of the blues, Ma Rainey, was born on April 26th. She wasn't the first blues singer to make records, but by all rights, she probably should have been. In an era where women were marquee names in blues, Rainey was once the most celebrated of all. The mother of the blues had been singing the music for more than 20 years before she made her recording debut on Paramount in 1923. April 28th is a birthday of blues guitarist Phil Guy. He was the younger brother of blues guitarist Buddy Guy. Phil and Buddy were frequent collaborators and contributed both guitars and vocal tracks on many of each other's albums. April 28th is also the birthday of blues singer Louis Blues Boy Jones back in 1931. This R&B singer recorded mostly in the 1950s and 60s. He was born in Galveston, Texas, and began singing with his mother in their church choir and learned to play piano and drums. Chicago blues guitarist Otis Rush was born on April 28th back in 1934. With qualities similar to the styles of the 1950s guitar players like Magic Sam and Buddy Guy, his sound became known as West Side Chicago Blues and was an influence on many musicians, including Michael Bloomfield, Peter Green, and Eric Clapton. He was elected to the Blues Hall of Fame in 1984, and in 2015, Rolling Stone ranked Rush number 53 on its 100 Greatest Guitarists list. Chicago blues guitarist Lefty Diz was born on April 29th in 1937 in Osceola, Arkansas. In Chicago, he came under the tutelage of Lacey Gibson and Earl Hooker. During a gig in Seattle, a left-hand teenage guitarist named Jimi Hendrix hung out with and was influenced by Lefty Diz. Okay, we just covered some of the highlights here, but if you want to know more about these artists or the other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or visit our website. We'll have a new episode next week, so we'll see you then.